Just do it. Just make the video. You don't have all day. You're running out of time. I hate time. I don't want to talk about time. I hate time. What do you mean you hate time? You're a watch guy. You're a watch obsessive. You're wearing a Seiko Monster. And you're such a rebel. You got it on this steampunk OEM MM300 waffle. You hate time. Yes, I hate time. We all hate time. Time doesn't make sense that we're into watches. We should all give up because watches are about time, and time is about tick tock. You're running out of time. The time is going to expire. Time is finite. Time is like we've been ruined by the machine. I mean, we've all had jobs where you had to like punch into your time clock. Who wants to live in time? When we were kids, childhood was magic because we lived outside of time. And so that's what I want to talk about today. How in the heck does a guy like me, 62 years old, love watches but hate time? What's that? What's the purpose of the watch? Because it's really not about telling time. It's about something else. And that's what I want to talk about today. I don't know if I have time to do this, so I might have to have a beverage. Delicious. So the only way to overcome time, because you're not going to fight it, it's going to beat you, it's going to be the winner, is you have to find a way to manage time. You can't fight time. You can't resist time. It's finite. It's going to get you. Father Time is going to get you. So you got to manage time. What does that mean, manage time? Well, from what I've experienced and from what I've read, to manage your time so that time doesn't kick your butt, you need to spend your time wisely developing connections, creativity, and meaning. And by creating connections, creativity, and meaning, you can live in what's called sacred time. This is why societies all create these sort of rituals, pageants, and ceremonies to produce sacred time through connection, creativity, and through meaning. Feasts, wedding ceremonies, spiritual gatherings. You don't even have to be religious to crave sacred time. I mean, self-described atheist and public intellectual Sam Harris is an evangelist for meditation because he has a quest, a hunger for sacred time, which is universal. A great lesson about sacred time is in a cartoon from my childhood. I'm sure it still airs. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. He tried to steal Christmas. He stole all the toys. But the citizens of Whoville, they held hands. They stood in a circle as they did in their sacred ritual. And they sang. He could not take the singing out of their hearts because sacred time is about connection. So this connection, this meaning, this creativity, it's really hard to achieve because people like me and probably you, we have this thing called the ego. And it's hard, man, to surrender the ego. And you want to surrender the ego to something larger than yourself. And you want to do this by creating meaning, connection, and creativity. And this is why you have feasts and holy spiritual services or meditations. Dudes who gather on football Sunday to drink and eat nachos and live vicariously through the violence of the football players, they're actually creating a sacred time of bonding and friendship that they don't have during the week when they just have to live in, business time, just the drudgery of business time. Why in the heck would we like time? This is all about imprisonment. This is all about being beholden to the machine. We want to live in sacred time. That's why we listen to music. We read novels. We read novels to get out of our heads and connect with a narrator or with a character or with a group of characters. When it comes to music, we want to connect with the narrator of the song. There was a song when I was 14 by 10cc called "I'm Not in Love." I was completely taken away from time. Now my daughters and I, we listen to SZA do the acoustic Kill Bill. Have you heard that song? I sold my tuna, not a great idea. Now I have to get it back. Oh my God, what a song. So we're all questing for sacred time. So today, I want to tell you about one of the most profound, deeply etched experiences of sacred time in my life. I take you back to 1971, the summer. I'm 9 years old. I'm in San Jose, California. My parents, they go to Europe for a whole month. They go to a European vacation for a whole month. My younger brother goes to stay with a family friend, kid his age and his family. I got nobody, so my parents hire a professional babysitter who lives, 10 miles away in San Jose, California. And for 30 days, I lived with a family that I had never met before. And so you had Mr. and Mrs. Lydecker and their son Matthew, 5-year-old son Matthew. And then you had Lisa Lydecker. Lisa Lydecker was my age. She was a beautiful 9-year-old, and she and I immediately synced like two Swiss watches. We were like soulmates for 30 days. We lived in sacred time. I don't know who came up with it, but Lisa and we had this routine every day for 30 days. It was just so beautiful. We believed in the Captain Crunch rotation. You couldn't just randomly eat Captain Crunch in the morning. There were a variety of Captain Crunches, including Quisp, Quake, and King Vitamin, which we counted as Captain Crunch, made by the same company, similar ingredients. But we had peanut butter Captain Crunch, plain Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. The way I now rotate, as a man of rotation, the way I now not only do I rotate watches, I rotate straps, but as a kid, Lisa and I rotated Captain Crunch. So 7 o'clock in the morning, this would be the opening of our day. We would have Captain Crunch of some variety based on a mutually agreed upon rotation. And then 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we did our jigsaw puzzle while the transistor radio played KFRC. KFRC was the AM pop music station of the time. Sly and the Family Stone, singing Hot Time in the Summertime and whatnot. We loved that time where we could bond with our jigsaw puzzle. Let's see what happened after that. 9 to 10, it was Mayberry RFD. And then after that, it was Bewitched. And then it was a pretty hot summer. It got to like 105 degrees that summer. Around 10 o'clock, this was a big part of our day. We would play Tarzan Jane in the backyard, running through the sprinklers. I think there were 2 sprinklers in their large backyard. They had a Doughboy swimming pool too. So we played Tarzan Jane. Now Lisa, she would model her bathing suits for me to see if I approved of them. Well, there was really only one bathing suit that I really liked. It had tassels on it. I called it her Tarzan bathing suit. And she was very intuitive. If that suit was not available because it was hanging to dry or something, she could read my body language. She could tell I was upset that she wasn't wearing the official Tarzan bathing suit. And if it was available, she would then go and change and get into the Tarzan suit so that we could play our Tarzan and Jane game in the sprinklers. And this went on. She was she could read my mind. Scared the heck out of me. I mean, we're both 9 years old, mind you. So then what happens? It's 12 o'clock to 1. Our lunchtime was pretty much grilled cheese sandwiches and French onion soup. We couldn't go swimming right away. Her mom made us wait. it might be a myth. You have to digest your food or you'll sink to the bottom of the Doughboy pool. So we watched Leave It to Beaver, and then we watched a gothic soap opera called Dark Shadows. I remember there was one plot line where there was this disembodied hand. It just, this hand, it was floating and stuff. Scared the heck out of me. Loved it. Always ended on a cliffhanger. She and I would watch Dark Shadows, and then it was the Doughboy, and this was interesting. I was Prince Namor, she was Wonder Woman in the Doughboy, and she had a cardboard cutout record from one of her cereals. I think it was Sugar Crisp, and it was the Archies, Sugar Sugar. She would play it on repeat on her turntable in her bedroom with the bedroom window open so we could hear it in the Doughboy pool. And so I heard Sugar Sugar a lot, over and over again. As we did our swimming. Swimming was about till 4 o'clock or so. Then we go into the garage and we would play with Mr. Potato Head and Play-Doh in the garage, cool off, it was hot. And we didn't play Mr. Potato Head and Play-Doh as human beings, it was cosplay. We were the Fantastic Four. That's what that was, yes. Then 5 o'clock would come. I'm telling you, Lisa and I, we were very synced with our schedule. 5 o'clock came, we would go to her room. This was grown-up time. Grown-up time is when we talked about getting married, frankly. We wanted to marry each other. We talked about our wedding plans. Her mom would come in, and Lisa would say, "Hey, Mom, can you marry me and Jeff? We want to get married." And she says, "Well, you got to be 18. I can't marry you legally here in the state of California. You need to be 18. And Lisa says to her mom, "But our Aunt Lucy got married when she was 14. And her mom says, "Well, your Aunt Lucy was in another state and she was pregnant." And then she paused and said to us, "You guys don't get any funny ideas, you hear?" So we talked a lot about our wedding plans during the grown-up time in her room between 5 and 6, between dinner time. And then sometimes her mom would come in to ask what we wanted for dinner, or how we wanted something prepared. And I would say to her very politely, "Actually, right now we're reenacting a movie. I'm Warren Beatty and she's Goldie Hawn. Can you come back in 20 minutes? And she was, "Oh yeah, sure, dear." So then we would have dinner. And then from about 7 to 8:30, it was reading time in Lisa's room. We would read Charlotte's Web, Aesop's Fables, Winnie the Pooh. Bedtime was around 8:30 or so, 8:45. And I would go to the guest room to go to bed. And she would always, Lisa would always crack open the door to wish me good night. And she would always ask me, "What's on the rotation for tomorrow's breakfast? Is it going to be plain Captain Crunch or Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries?" And I'd say, "Well, it's going to be Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries, of course." And then I'd have this big smile on my face. And 10 seconds later, I'd be sound asleep. I never slept so well in my life when I spent 30 days there with my 9-year-old soulmate, Lisa Lydecker. So now, after 30 days, my parents come to pick me up. And, they go, "Hey, did you miss us? Did you have a good time?" And I couldn't tell them the truth. Here's the truth. The truth was I didn't miss my parents. I never thought about them one day. I had been transported to the Garden of Eden for 30 days, and I spent 30 days with this beautiful goddess. And her name was Eve. And Eve could read all my emotions. She knew what bathing suit to wear. She knew how to rotate the Captain Crunch. And now that was gone. That was all taken from me. And now I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what my next move was. But you see, as a 9-year-old kid living in sacred time for 30 days, I didn't know how to process that or articulate what had happened to me. So I just said to my parents, "Yeah, it was fun. Did a lot of swimming. I got a suntan. And thank you. And of course I missed you. Yeah, right." So here I am now, still doing my rotation, my watch rotation now. A watch collector who doesn't even like time. Time is awful. I wear the watch. I'll tell you why I wear the watch. The watch is a symbol. It's a reminder that I have to be humble and spend my time wisely. that I have to seek connection, creativity, and meaning, and try to create what I would call, as I said in this video, sacred time. Ladies and gentlemen, have I lost my mind? You probably like that. Isn't that what YouTube's all about? This is the place we go for performative insanity and performative anxiety. No, I'm kidding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to work out now. I am way behind time, frankly. I usually work out at 10:30. It's 11:32. And I got to do this. All right, until next time, I'm out.